Good morning. How are you? Happy Monday. Happy Monday mindset and making shit happen and talking all about money. So here's the thing. You're in business. You're in business for a reason. The reason is to sell stuff. Selling is required. Now, I know that seems like that should not be a big surprise. The problem is that most people just wish there was just this line that just shows up. Well, of course, we all want to have a line that shows up. Part of having a line that just shows up is to become great at marketing and selling, and of course, delivering our products so people also talk about us. Here's the dilemma. So we can pay to have people line up by way of speaking, social media, Facebook ads, whatever ads. Put your, fill in the blank to ads, TikTok ads, all the ads. We have a line of people. But if you don't know how to sell, if you don't know how to have a conversation that has that person saying yes, that's a problem. Here's the dilemma that a lot of people have is that they hesitate showing up fully and being their real self because they have a fear of selling, because they interpret selling as something other than serving. So here's the thing. This is my belief system, so take it if you'd like to make a lot of money, right? I believe that when we're good at something, first of all, if you want to add a spiritual component here, if we are really good at something, and we have a solution, we've developed a solution to a problem that's happening in the world, that we have this moral and obligation to give it to people. Give it means also selling it. That's our gift. That's our knowing. And a lot of times women, we minimize that. We're like, well, doesn't everybody know that? No, they probably don't know that your years of experience, education, lived experience, sessions with clients, aha moments, they probably haven't gotten that. And so you are minimizing your ease of the solution. You think it's just easy. And my friends, it is to you. And your clients want it to be easy for them. That's your job. That's our job. And so we have this gift that is God-given, we've had all these experiences that create who we are. And so we've crafted whatever solution that we're selling. And so when we believe that we have this moral obligation to deliver it, when we believe that we have this moral obligation to serve people, and when we start looking at serving is selling is serving, and selling is coaching. Part of a sales conversation is learning the skill to ask questions and coach somebody to a decision. It's not about them being lucky, and it's not about you being lucky. It's about being able to have a conversation with people. Hardcore conversation about money, about what they want out of their life. And it doesn't matter what you're selling, whether you're selling coaching, whether you're selling insurance, whether you're selling organizing your house. All of these things have an emotional component that you need to learn how to tap into with your ideal client. Why do you think everything, like even the simplest thing, like those comfies, remember that, you guys? Or those beanbag chairs, like everything has an undertone layer of emotion. And that's part of selling. It's part of you learning what's the emotion of a client and how your client wants to have a shift in their emotional state. That's what excellent selling is about. That's what excellent marketing is about. It's about conveying a message to your potential ideal client. Your now client, remember, now means they need it. It's not just, I want to sell it. They decide that they need it, not you thinking they need it. Here's a little side note tip. So many clients say they want to sell this thing that they know people need. Here's the problem. If that particular person doesn't feel like they need it, they're not going to buy it. There's nothing you can say that will twist their arm into it, period. So sometimes what happens is because we see a need in the world, we want to create something that we know will solve the problem. But if those people don't want that problem solved, or they don't want it right then solved, there's a disconnect. And so frequently, this is where businesses fail because you're selling something that people don't want. So the now best now client is that they need it and they need it. They recognize they need it. That the O stands for they're willing to overcome whatever the obstacles are in their way of them saying yes to you. And then W is they're willing and wanting to invest in it. They're willing and wanting to do the work. So if they're not in this moment of now, this is that moment where you show up and your offer is connecting at the point in time for their now. That's a problem. Now, the truth is we can cultivate letting people become aware of why they may need this now. We in our marketing, we can cultivate a moment of like now. You really actually need this now. Maybe you didn't realize it. Here's the reasons why. You didn't realize there was this new way to do X, Y, and Z. And here's what I want to offer to you. That's part of our job as marketing. But the bottom line comes from number one, you have to not minimize what you're doing and not make it's just so easy. Everybody can do it. No. Number two is you have to only be talking to your now client. And you need to be understanding that client from their emotional, where they want to go, where they are to where they want to go. And number three, you have to really get good at sales conversation. Selling is required, and most people hate that. And if you don't like selling and sharing and serving your clients, I want to offer to you that maybe what you think you want to sell isn't actually needed in the world. Because if it is needed, you would want to sell it. If you really believe that your best ideal client really, 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 really needs this, what is holding you back from selling it? Well, we know what's holding you back is you don't want to be perceived as a pushy salesperson. You don't want to be perceived as, you just want people lining up to wave their credit card. And if your marketing is effective, you can get a lot of that, but that's not the bulk of it. So the bulk is your job as a marketer and as a salesperson around your service is showing up and creating an invitation where people want to say yes. They want to be able to say, I want to find out more about it. So today, your big, bold action step is evaluate. Are the things that you've been saying leading to sales calls? Are you loving sales calls? If both of the answers to those questions are no's, my friend, you've got a big problem. You've got a huge, huge problem. If you don't want to market, say, buy my stuff, which is basically what you're saying, like, hey, I can help you. If you don't want to do that and you don't want to show up and then you don't want to invite people to have a conversation to go to the next step, really, really, really need to reevaluate whether what you're doing is actually what you want to be doing. There's been times where people have come to me and they want to help build their business, but then you find out, what have you actually been doing behind the scenes? You haven't been talking to people, reaching out to people, collaborating with people, networking, speaking, showing up. Like, that's an indicator, my friends, that maybe what you're trying to sell isn't something that you want to sell, or it's just the wrong population. Maybe what you have is needed. You just haven't learned how to market it to somebody who really, really wants it. Because, of course, we all want to have just a flood of people knocking on our door. So one of the ways to do that is also speaking, networking, making connections, ads. If you need some help with that, let me know. We can help you craft a talk that sells so that when you're standing in front of an audience, you actually do get a rush, and that's pretty exciting. But you have to know what to say and how to say it to elicit a response. The same with Facebook ads. You have to understand the language to elicit a response. Because some of it, you might just be pushing people away unknowingly. You say a certain thing and unknowingly, they are like, oh God, I don't want that thing. I don't want it. Right? So enjoy the rest of the day. Go answer those questions, and I will talk to you next week. Bye now.